everyone, what's the crack? Lawrence here with a very different video. I don't normally do Black Friday offer videos, but Moza contacted me, offered to pay me, and here we are. Let's do this. So as I've mentioned, this is a sponsored video. I'm getting paid to get this Black Friday message out there. I have reviewed most of these products and I've given my opinions of them in the past. You'll see in the comments that people largely agree with those comments. So in my opinion, there's no bias, but I'm of course biased towards my opinion, and I'm getting paid for this, so feel free to take this with a pinch of salt. The main goal of this video is just to get the price reductions from Moza out there. It's not necessarily to give any new review information that I haven't given in the past. However, I will be doing some condensed reviews of the good and the bad of these products so that you can make an informed decision and use these sales to your advantage. And many of you in the comments will ask me to do these type of videos for other brands. For example, Simagic, they've got great sales. Asetek, amazing sales as well. But they haven't offered to pay me to do one of these videos, and I haven't gone out of my way to ask them if they wanted one of these videos either. So here we are. Moza were the only ones that offered. Moza got there first. And to save you a lot of kind of trolling through this video, these are the products that I'm going to be talking about. I will be talking about each one of them in a little bit of detail. We've got the bundles for the R5 and the R3. We've got some wheelbases, the R9, R12, R16 and R21. We've got wheels, we've got the ESX, the ES steering wheel, the RSV2, the KS, the GS-V2P, the FSR and the TSW, that's the truck wheel. We've got pedals, the SRP pedals, and we've got accessories, the quick release adapter and a 12-inch wheel mod for the ES. So let's kick it off with the R3 bundle. I'm going to be focusing on US dollar prices, the euro prices and the Australian dollars, the Great British pounds. All those were in the little screenshot that you saw earlier with the entire list of prices. So US dollars is the focus for now. The R3 bundle is a great little bundle. I have it over here somewhere. Let me move some of these out of the way. Here we go. This is the R3, a tiny little wheelbase. Look at the size of that. It is like, and I've got small hands. That is a tiny little wheelbase. What can I say about this? My kids absolutely love it. Entry-level DD, there's no better value than this at the moment. It is a little bit clickety-clackety, so as it goes through the forces as they change, this tends to be a little bit noisier than other wheelbases. So the quick release is exactly the same as what you get, and this steering wheel can be used on apps, and we will be covering the steering wheel in a little bit more detail, but this can be used on any of the wheelbases, and it makes any of your wheelbases Xbox compatible as well. And this of course is mounted to a little desk clamp. That's how I mount it for the kids right now. This desk clamp is pretty good and it fits the R5, the R9, I think the R12 as well. This is an incredible buy. Best value direct drive wheelbase? I think so. And now it's even better value with the Black Friday sale. How they can knock off $40 off this. I know as a percentage, that's like only 10%. But 10% off an already low number is incredible. And of course, you get the pedals with this as well. Those pedals are not fantastic. There is a little brake mod, which makes it a little bit better. It doesn't turn it into load cell or whatever. It is more than usable. We use it at my work setup. That has seen about 15,000 laps so far, and they've held up. I've had to tighten some screws and stuff, but as an entry-level pedal set, especially if you're doing drifting or rally or whatever, where the pedals are not as important, this is fine. Even if you're doing circuit racing, you're not going to be at the peak of braking performance at the start. You need to get that seat time. You need to get to the limit of the pedals. So as an entry-level pedal set, I think this is actually a really good set. Also, one thing of note, it's called the R3. It has 3.9 Newton meters of torque. So they could have called it the R4, but I think Logitech had a similar thing, saying they weren't allowed to say that it's higher than it actually is because it wasn't the full amount. Anyway, doesn't really matter. This is a great value bundle. If anyone's looking to get into sim racing, to give you a bit of perspective, this has more than twice the power of a Logitech G923 steering wheel. It's higher quality, has more functionality, it's less noisy, even though there's a little bit of noise. It's brilliant. It's a really good entry-level setup. And there is little or nothing stopping you from being as fast as top split drivers with that setup. it is really good. Next up is the Moza R21 wheelbase, an excellent wheelbase, top of the range. If you think that you could buy a wheelbase and then potentially be worried about not having enough power in the future, just buy this one. It's $899 for a 20 Newton meter plus wheelbase. That is incredible value. 10% off, compatible with all the steering wheels. Brilliant. I really, really liked it. It is on par with the top wheelbases out there. The software is good too, so I have no worries in recommending this thing. The one thing I will say is I'm not gone on the looks. However, you can front mount it, you can base mount it, you just can't side mount it, and it does look slightly different to all the others, but I'm not sure what these winglets, these fake vented bits actually do. I don't think there's anything inside there. I've never taken one of these apart, but I think this wheelbase is maybe slightly bigger than it needs to be. And personally, I only ever ran the R21 at around, I think 13 Newton meters was probably the most in any of the sims. So the R16 is already more than enough, and this one's actually more discounted, $699. This would probably be my pick of all the Moza wheelbases. I think this one represents the best value. If you're worried that the 16 might not be enough, the 21 also on sale, but it's a bit more money. This one, I think, is the one to pick. And not all of the wheelbases are mentioned in that. We've got the R5, the R9, the R12 as well. I've already spoken about the R3 a little bit. With the little ES steering wheel, everything is fine. All your drifting, everything. It's a tiny little steering wheel. It's not super heavy. It's a great little wheel. If you're looking to use the 12-inch steering wheel mod, which you see at the bottom of the list here, I would recommend going for at least the R5. The R3 struggles a little bit with it. It's a little bit kind of you because the wheel is bigger, you have more leverage over it, and it highlights the fact that there's not a huge amount of power. The R5 is just slightly better at getting that power across. The R9, absolutely no worries with that ES 12-inch mod. The R9 is where you start getting into the territory of the CS steering wheel and the RS steering wheel. They're the bigger ones, and we'll talk about those in a while as well. They are quite a bit heavier. So if you do have those bigger steering wheels, my own personal opinion is you need at least the R12. The R12, which I also have here somewhere, yeah, it's just here on the seat beside me. The R12 just has quite a lot of power. It has a great amount of power, so it can spin those wheels very, very easily. If you have the smaller wheelbases, the R9 and lower, from my own personal experience, if you have a larger rim on it, you do lose a little bit of that forced feedback. It's not as noticeable with the R12. You can see on the screen what the price reductions are for those. The one with the biggest reduction out of all the wheelbases is the R21, but that is the one that has the most that can be reduced. So just because you see only 4% discount on the R5 Racing Simulator bundle, that's because the price is already quite low. They already represent great value. In my opinion, I'm not being paid to say that. I'm being paid to do this video, but in my opinion, those bundles are already excellent value. I don't understand how a company like this can actually afford to do Black Friday sales, but here we are. So a quick recap on the wheelbases. My entry-level wheelbase recommendation is the R5 bundle. My mid-level is the R12, and my top end, my recommendation is the R16. Now, the R12 and the R16 on paper seem quite close together, but in my opinion, the R16 seems further away from the R12 than you would imagine. And I think that's something to do with the fact that the architecture of the bases, let's just grab that R12 here. I believe this is the R12. No, this is the R9, but it's similar to the R12. The architecture of the bases is slightly different. I think they use a different motor technology in that, and I just think that this is more like what we see in competitor wheelbases, so that's why R16 gets my top level pick. Next up, steering wheels. We'll start with the KS because that's one that people talk about quite a lot. €309 the normal price. It's down to €279. Not 100% sure why this is showing me the euro price and not the dollar price. In dollars, this is $279 down to $249. So $249 for this. They've got a couple of different bundles here as well that aren't listed in that sheet that I showed you earlier. So if we look at the R9 bundle, you can get the R9 plus the KS, which is a great combo. The KS is nice and light. The R9 will be more than capable for the KS. So €699 absolutely excellent deal for that. If you want to eliminate that doubt, for an extra €100, we've got the R12 bundle. This bundle on its own is excellent value. Even at the 928, the R12 with the KS is good value, and I have recommended it to people in the past. The R9, if you want to bring that budget down slightly, as in if you're never really going to be using a big, large, round rim, the R9 will do you just fine. It's got clutch paddles, it's got shifters, you can hear the shifters. It's got lovely backlit buttons, loads of them. It's got these 7-way hats. I have to sneeze. And again. Sorry. It's got these 7-way hats, which are these kind of analog-y sticks. I'm not a huge fan of those. Got 3 rotaries. It's got your LED display on it as well. And it's got these thumb rotaries, which are quite useful. That is excellent value. Next up, we'll go for what is arguably my favorite round steering wheel in sim racing, just because the price already before it's discounted is absolutely excellent. It's got our backlit buttons, which I'm a big fan of. Now it does have the same 7-way hat setup. I hope we see with their newer steering wheels, they've got clicky 7-way hats, not with this. But hopefully they'll update this at some stage as well. It's got the forged carbon, got loads of lovely, and it's got those beautiful, I love these buttons because there's lovely travel in them, and they sound so good. Listen to this. Can you hear this? That's a glorious sound. Love it. The rotaries are decent. They're not amazing, but it's got clutch paddles as well, which is so handy for annoying people in your league when you get a great start off the line. We've got these little indents, so this is a lovely grip for a steering wheel as well, and it's got these little knuckles on here as well that just to house your thumbs. This is a great steering wheel. Highly recommend this. This is one of the reasons I recommend Moza to people, because for drifting, for rally, for everything, this does absolutely everything. They're my genuine thoughts. I'm not being paid to say that. I would love if this worked on all wheelbases because it's absolutely excellent. That's down to $399, so $40 reduction. That's only 9%, but it's already very affordable and great value, as I explained. We've got the R9 bundle. Personally, I wouldn't go for this. I don't think the R9 has if you've never used direct drive, it's a great experience. It's lovely, but you won't know what you're necessarily missing. I would definitely concentrate on the R12 bundle, which is down from 1,098 to €1,000. I'm not sure why it's kind of swapping between euro prices and dollar prices here, but you can get a good indication, and you can go to the website as well. All of this stuff is linked in the description below anyway. So RSV2, big thumbs up for the RSV2. Next up is the FSR Formula Wheel. Again, a lovely steering wheel. Let's make that a little bit larger here. Lovely steering wheel. Look, you can see my my own little reflection on the screen there. Really good steering wheel. One thing to note with this is like a 280mm steering wheel. So it's smaller than, if we grab the GS, we can actually see, let me see if I can fit that in the shot. We can see the GS up above. We can see that the FSR is quite a lot smaller if we put them face to face. So the grip on my side, the grip starts at exactly the same place where my hands are. You can see that the GS is quite considerably larger than the FSR. The FSR has a nice screen. The dashes are a little bit limited. So my personal opinion, I prefer a standalone SimHub dash. I would love SimHub compatibility on here, but if that doesn't bother you, it's lovely. It's beautiful. This is a statement piece, and for $599, like, that is mad. Because in my head, I'm a reviewer. I'm comparing this to €1,500 steering wheels, and I keep forgetting that this is so much cheaper. So when I talk about the dash not being as functional, it's still very functional. It shows you your gears, shows you your diffs, all that kind of stuff, and you've got multiple dashes to choose from. It's got the clutch paddles, it's got the carbon shifters and everything. It's got lovely little thumb rotaries in here, and we've got again these analogy little 7-way hats, even though they're not 7-way hats, they're just a 5-way hat. And got the really nice buttons with the travel and loads of rotaries galore. So this is exceptional value. If I was in the Moza ecosystem and it was my only wheelbase, and especially if I was on a budget, I think budget is the main thing here, I would definitely have this. Quality wise, every bit as good as most of the steering wheels that are out there in the world. Functionality wise, maybe not as good as a €1,500 steering wheel, but it's a third of the price. It's got the excellent quick release. All these steering wheels come with the quick release as well, guys. So you don't have to buy an extra quick release. They're excellent value. $599. That's exceptional. I just don't know how they do it. I honestly don't know how they do it. If I was in the Moza ecosystem, this would definitely be in my collection. That's one of the cool things about the Moza ecosystem is because the steering wheels are relatively affordable, you kind of want to buy them all and maybe collect them, and they're all within the same ecosystem. You can click them on, click them off really easily. It just all integrates so nicely. So I think that I would have multiples, and I bet you there are many people watching this video right now who already own multiple steering wheels and are only looking at this video to maybe buy more steering wheels. Comment below if that's you. Next up, as we showed before, the Moza GS V2P GT wheel. So they're kind of differentiating. The FSR is like a formula wheel. This is a GT wheel. So this one's slightly larger, 20mm larger. This is one of the best steering wheels in sim racing, guys. €400. It's really just so good. Clutch paddles on there. Got the carbon paddles. What else have we got? The only difference between this and the V1 is we've got slightly smaller quick release on there. There's some other very minor aesthetic things, but if you have a V1, there's no need to get this V2, in my opinion. But this is a brilliant steering wheel. It's got those. Again, I'm so glad that Moza sticks with these buttons because I love these buttons. They're so much nicer than the clicky buttons you get on most, even on high-end steering wheels. I just love these buttons. And they're lovely and backlit as well. And of course, they've got bundles as well. So the R9 bundle, so that would be a good steering wheel for the R9. Again, reservations about the R9 and the heavier steering wheels, the CS and the RS. I found them just a little bit numb on the R9. On the R12, not an issue. So the R12, just over €1,000. The R9, $779. That is incredible value, lads. That is very good value. The R9 plus the GS wheel. The GS wheel on its own almost warrants that price tag. This is a really good value bundle. Then we'll move on to the trucking bundle. I don't actually have this truck steering wheel rim. I've never asked Moza for it either. I don't do a lot of trucking, but I know for a fact, well, I'd be pretty sure, don't know for a fact, but I'd be pretty sure if I had the Moza ecosystem and that was my only ecosystem, I wasn't the product reviewer or whatever, I would definitely buy this. Definitely. It is unbelievable value. €249. $249 even. 17% off. That's nearly 20% off, guys. A product that's already in high demand. Beautiful. If you want the bundle, if you want to get into truck simulation, it doesn't get much better than this. The R5 plus the truck wheel, only €549 even. That's unbelievable value, and it's so much fun. You're not gonna it's crazy value. Well done, Moza. This is a super product and an unbelievable offering. How are you making money? And next up, as kind of seen before, the unsung hero of the Moza ecosystem, the ESX steering wheel. Now, this is very similar to the ES steering wheel. The ESX is Xbox compatible. So both of those, I'm going to cover both of those here. With the early ESXs, we had some with the early ES steering wheels, I had some little build quality issues. They have been addressed apparently. So we see a slightly thicker front plate on here. I would recommend the 12-inch mod and the ESX button box. The ES button box fits that 12-inch mod as well. This is just slightly small. My kids love using this. This is around the same size as what you get on a Logitech G923 steering wheel. You don't have any rotary encoders or anything, but you have loads and loads of buttons, and of course that Xbox console compatibility. Nice big flappy paddle shifters as well, and the quick release included. And guys, that steering wheel, $119, is it's mega. It's unbelievable value. Absolutely unbelievable value. I 14% off this. And as I say, for the R9 and below, the R9, R5, R3, this with the 12-inch rim, unbelievable for drifting and rally. It would definitely be my pick of the bunch. Then we get to pedals, and I haven't actually reviewed these pedals. I have used them. They're decent. You're very capable of driving fast with them. They're not a high-end pedal or whatever, but if you're looking to get a decent pedal set that will suffice, it's a good option. At $140, you can't expect the world. It's only a 2-pedal set, so you'd need the clutch mod as well. But earlier I recommended the SRP lights that you get with the R5 and R3 bundles. I think they're a good little pedal set, especially if you're starting out. If you want to go slightly better, go for these. But just be aware that you're kind of straying into territory where there are, in my opinion, maybe better brake pedals around. I do think if you're looking at Moza pedals, my own personal pick of the bunch is the CRP2 pedals. Even though I had a rocky start with them, I was able to adjust them and get really good feel out of them. So just do some research on the pedals. I may not be the very best person to talk to about Moza pedals because I've only used a handful of their variations. And finally, accessories. The quick release is only $55. The 12-inch round wheel for the ESX, which we just looked at, only $69. Now, the rim is just a piece of metal with the rim on it. You can, in theory, get a cheap wheel off, eBay or whatever, but you'd have to drill holes for all the buttons. This is all nicely integrated, as you can see in the graphic above. So I wouldn't go to that effort. $70 is an absolute steal for that, pun intended. And the quick release is great as well. The quick release, every bit as good as the NRG quick release, the SimMagic quick release, Camus, many others. They all use a similar style. It's almost exactly the same. So highly recommend that. The only reason you would need a quick release from Moza is if you're fitting your aftermarket steering wheel, Cube Controls or whatever. If you're fitting one of those, you'll need one of these. You do get the little electronics chip with that. So if you need to replace it for any reason on an existing wheel, or if you're doing some DIY and you want to try and make it compatible, this quick release will do the trick for you. So, final summary and all the prices. Again, this doesn't even show all the bundles. There are bundles mentioned in this video that are not on this list, but they're usually for the steering wheels and the base combos. Can't list them all here because this would be a very, very long list. Again, this was a sponsored video. I hope that the opinions that I have in here help you to make your decisions. As I say, they've not all been super positive, but they have genuinely been my opinions. So Moza wanted me to make this video to get my opinions out there. Now, maybe they already agree with my opinions. Maybe they've just done a good job, made some good products, and are using me as a way to get that out there. I don't know. I'm getting paid for this video. It's the first time I've ever gotten paid for a video. So just putting that out there. Feel free to discuss that in the comments. I thought long and hard about it. I don't think there's a conflict of interest here. In the past, I have had sponsorships. I had a sponsorship from Cube Controls, and I reviewed their product. That did not sit well with me. Even though my review was 100% genuine and all that, I didn't like the fact that I was being sponsored by this company. And I did a couple of times feel, I'm going to say this negative thing about their product, and they're sponsoring me. Will they ever sponsor me again? And that's the big thing that I think the conflict of interest. At this stage of my reviewing career, I know that I can offer companies a lot. As in, if Moza stop sending me products because I've said something bad, that's a bigger problem for them than it is for me. I have a review of backlogs, a backlog of reviews. I'm saying no to more reviews than I'm saying yes to. I don't need free stuff. I give it away to real racing drivers and to community members all the time because it takes up space in my house. they're just tools for making my videos. So I don't sell them or make money from them or whatever. And then when the opportunity came up to get a sponsorship for this video, so they're paying me a little bit of money to put this video out there, the opinions, I've already got them out there. I've already, got loads of people who have validated, I guess, my opinions on products from all manufacturers. So, but again, feel free to discuss in the comments. If I shouldn't do videos like this, please say so. If I should do more of them, please say so as well. If any other companies want to sponsor me to make videos, great. I already have a 9-to-5 job. It pays my bills. I may not have time to do your videos. And I've said no to sponsored reviews in the past. This is not a sponsored review. This is a Black Friday promo. Anyway, shut up, Lawrence. You're rambling. Yeah, I'm happy to have been in a position to make this video. Hopefully it helps some people. The links in the description below are affiliate links. Now for Moza themselves, I don't have a discount code, but for some of the other resellers, I do have discount codes, and this will stack, and a lot of those resellers will also be providing these discounts. So check your local reseller. I've got a link to my affiliate links for Moza and all other brands in the chat below. If there are other Black Friday sales that you're questioning, the Simagic, Ace-Tech ones or whatever, feel free to shoot me a private message. Hop into my Discord. That's also linked in the description. I'll gladly help. I just don't have the time to be making and editing videos. So I have lots of opinions that are not on my YouTube channel yet. If you ever want to know something or need to know it today, feel free to reach out. Thanks a million for watching. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks Moza for giving me the opportunity to do a sponsored video for the first time. And thank you guys for your honest feedback and for watching. I'm Lawrence. I'll chat to you later.